Hello,
Welcome back to
everybody.
Tres
Hi.
Leches.
Bienvenidos.
Ian, how are you doing?
Oh, Juani, thank you so much for asking. I am doing great because today is Christmas, also known as Wicked Day for us here at Tres Leches.
Yeah.
No, I'm feeling good, and I really cannot wait to get into this episode. So let's just introduce our lovely guests.
Yes, it's a special day. Johnny is not with us. He is in Florida.
He's in
And while he's
Florida.
away, we have two angels. We have dear beloved beloveds as that's the only way to describe them. People who are true and dear to our hearts. We have Donnell James Foreman on the line.
Hi.
Nicholas. Oh, and Joseph Haro. Is that you I see in the box below me or
That
beside
is
me?
that is he.
Hello.
It's
Welcome
good
to
to
the
see
show.
you. As some of you know, Donnell was on our episode where we discussed Cowboy Carter. And so, as a refresher for the millions of you who are tuning in again, that's just a reminder that that's who Donnell is. And Joseph Haro. Wow, what can we say about Joseph Haro? I mean, I'll let Juan give him his accolades because I just know in 2 seconds he's going to go.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, we have two, Broadway names with Julie James. We have two Broadway names with us here today. Okay, between Donnell and
Yes, the reference.
yes, and these are true. And Joseph, Joey, and Donnell are musical theater through and through. Musical theater people who really know what they're talking about. They are at the intersection of the two things that matter most when you're talking about musical theater: students, okay, and fans.
Wow.
You gotta have
Yes.
both. You gotta have both of
Thank
those
you.
things. If we're gonna have a real conversation about musical
Yeah.
comedy with a capital M and a capital C, you need to have their resumes.
Not to be confused with Mariah Carey.
Oh yes, exactly. Well, that for that conversation too, you must be a student and a fan.
Exactly.
Amen.
You have to be a student of many things.
Do, re, mi. Start at the very
be
beginning.
ready.
Okay, yes.
But I will just say that as our shared experience as millennial fagoons, Wicked is particularly at the heart of our folklore because it really is I wouldn't call it our coming of age musical, but it was the musical that was there with us for our coming of age.
Yes.
100%.
In many ways. We were really thinking like, okay, we're going to move to New York and pursue the musical theater.
And be
This
somebody.
was the musical that was bubbling in the
Yes.
culture.
And propelling us into that transitional phase.
Do you remember the first time you heard the album? What was...
I do.
Yeah?
So when I was in high school, my drama club used to take like 6 trips a year to see shows in New York because I was in Albany, so 2.5 hours away.
Okay.
And the first trip my freshman year was Wicked. And because I was so new, I was at the bottom of the list of, students that had been there that went on the trips. So I didn't get to see it, and I was so sad. And then my friend got me the cast recording, and that was all I played. And then it was my alarm for the rest of my freshman year. It started with that opening chord. It was how I woke up every morning for school. Yeah, stuck in my head, yeah. And then eventually I went to New York for school, and then I worked at the theater selling merchandise. So then I used to be at the
Wow.
theater every day. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's always been in my theater life. Wicked has always
Yeah.
been there.
And,
Yeah.
I thought about this. I was like, oh, it would have been fun to have Stephen Remus because Stephen Remus, acclaimed musical director who supervised this show with Juan's cousin, Alex Lackamore, also helping with arrangements, is who ended up doing Book of Mormon that Donnell was in.
Yep.
So anyway, it's very kind of cool the way
Wow.
everything kind of
I
is
thought,
connected.
like, whenever I hear the songs in the movie, I'm like, oh, Steven. Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah. Oh, and you can hear it. He
Yeah.
really came to work on those
Donnell,
arrangements.
I'm curious, when you were working at the theater, like who were your alphabas? Who were your girls?
I have to go back. I should have went back and looked at the actual like dates, but I know I definitely had Teal Wicks. I know I had Kendra Casabom. I think Megan had already left because she was my first Glinda, but I don't think she was there when I worked there.
I see.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was. I worked there for like probably 2 years, so there were a few, but it becomes in the background so much that I like forget who. We just hear it every day.
Completely.
But to hear that every day is like to hear those people sing that every day is wild.
Insane.
Work. Joey,
Closer
what
than
about
most.
you?
My memories.
Yeah, like first, like when you listen to the album, or a first memory that's like,
I thought about this a lot today, and really it's more of that feeling that we kind of opened with, which was just being in high school, being, a musical theater major at New World, and just all of a sudden this new musical came on. Obviously we all love The Wizard of Oz, like that's so much a part of all of our lives. And suddenly hearing all the girls start wanting to sing it, like hearing Lana. Donnell, you don't know Lana, but we'll make that happen.
mm-hmm.
She was
you
our
know
like,
Lana's.
but you know Lana's.
Yeah, exactly. We've
She
all
was
had Lana's.
she was our Elphaba in that way, like the girl who's gonna sing the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it was just like that's a lot of it to me is like was just getting a hold of this music that was exciting and big and stretched us both in our abilities, that was something to aspire to, stretched like this material we knew and loved. There was just something about it. And the weirdest memory that I have that I'll focus on, which is like really like deep little gay boy core, that just came to me when we were talking too. So this is a vulnerable share. I remember the Tony performance and recording it on VHS.
Nuts.
And
Totally
labeling that tape afterwards and watching it really frequently because it offered some weird comfort to me. Like I can't explain it, I can't articulate it. I just know that I recorded it, I labeled it, and I watched it at least once a day because something about the bigness of it and something about the imperfection of it, like it wasn't Idina's best performance.
Yeah.
But the immediacy of the energy, it was like, I have to be a part of this world.
Yeah.
It just, it's wicked.
It's wicked. Wow,
I think
that's
that's
amazing.
the Tony Awards that really solidified, like, oh, I want to do this. I think that year, because that year was Wicked, Caroline, Avenue Q, like, that was a big year being like, oh yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes. Oh my
It
God,
was
that's an interesting
embarrassment of
point.
riches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one for me, not to get too tangenty, but was like Juan and Joey, we were all three there, and your mom picked you up, Juani, and didn't let you sleep over. But when we watched Hairspray and Thoroughly Modern Millie and like the one for Class Act.
Oh yeah,
and, like,
that was another one.
I've just never thought about like performances Tony wise that made me maybe think like kind of subconsciously I want to do that, but it's I'm sure there are many. Juan, what's a memory for you?
Well, I think the biggest memory for me is not my first encounter with it. My biggest memory was my 18th birthday, which I think I've shared this on the podcast. For my 18th birthday, my mom was like, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to go see Wicked with my friends." And she took me and my best girlfriends from high school to New York City the weekend of January 9th, 2005.
Wow.
Which happened to be Idina Menzel's final weekend in Wicked. And we were set to see the shows that we were there for. It was literally her matinee on Saturday, and we were going to come to closing.
We were going to,
Trap
but
door.
you didn't.
Trap door, honey.
Whoa. Well, I should say, we did go to both of those performances. Idina Menzel did not.
I see.
So we were there. We were literally in the house for the Idina Menzel cut me out of this dress falling through the trap door performance. We were there for that.
Juan,
Yeah.
how did I never know this?
How did I never know this?
Yeah. My cousin Alex was conducting. My cousin Alex Lackamore was conducting. And I will never forget it because you could see the back of his head. He's got a mop of curly hair. He would go on to do Hamilton and In the Heights and have an incredible, he's had an incredible career. He's in the midst of an incredible career. He's currently working on Basura, the Gloria Estefan musical. He did arrangements for Wicked. He's done just so many important things. But this was like the biggest deal ever. Like he was conducting Wicked. He had worked on the arrangements with Stephen Aremus. And for my 18th birthday, he was literally conducting that weekend. And so he had a big mop of curly hair. That's why I'm back to that. Is that he was turning around because he thought that the screaming was coming from the audience. He thought that Idina's yelling was someone in the house.
Because
So
what
he was
happened to
kinda
her?
looking back to see what was going on.
And what happened to our queen?
Well,
The trap
okay,
door
I'm burying the
opens,
lead.
or right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Toward the end of the show, when Elphaba is supposed to slowly descend into the stage, the mechanism that would slowly lower her malfunctioned. There was nothing really there. So she stepped in and fell through and was essentially holding herself up, right? She was like, I don't know if she was quite fully at
I see what you mean.
I don't know if she was holding herself quite at like shoulder high or if she was above it. I can't remember. But she totally messed up her ribs. If I remember correctly,
Right.
I think she had a
Yeah.
broken rib.
Yeah, I remember this now.
And the
They
classic.
didn't want to ruin the dress.
They didn't want to ruin the dress.
So-
And she said, cut
yeah.
the fucking dress.
Oh,
Cut me out.
Yeah.
George.
So that was the
Whoa.
matinee. Saturday night, she did not go on. Shoshana Bean would go on to perform the role of Elphaba. And
Not a disappointment if you're in the audience. Not
Not a
disappointment.
disappointment. Not a
no,
disappointment.
a fantastic thing. And then for the final performance, Idina Menzel came back out in the end in the signature red tracksuit.
Red tracksuit.
Yes.
So
Wow.
yeah, that was
Wow.
my memory of that. And that weekend was just absolutely nuts. We were 18, and Mom, don't listen to this.
Wow.
We were drinking in the East Village and doing those chaotic stuff and going all over the place. So that was my big memory of it.
Wow.
Ooh,
That is-
Ian, how you gonna top that baby? That's a good memory.
Oh my God. I don't, my memory with Wicked is just, I would blast it in the car with Lana a lot. So Lana was one of my best
Lana.
friends in high school. And we would listen, Lana, I would just listen to that with her a lot. And I remember because she was a junior and in Joey's class and I was a senior, I remember like one of the last months or days or there was like a moment when school was almost ending, you know what I mean? We were leaving Shiz, if you will, and we listened to For Good for almost like the last time, even though it wasn't because I saw her for so much more longer. But like, and we like cried in the car singing that to each other, and she's who I made some fun harmonies with on like Wizard and I that are like, in the vault somewhere. And one day when I do my one-man show, I'll sing them with Lana maybe. But anyway, so it's just that. And it was the first show that when I came to New York with my dad, I remember we had to come here because I had to audition for Marymount, my college. And he was like, what do you want to see? And I was like, I'm going to the cancellation line. I don't know what you're doing, but like, I'm going to the cancellation line. And it was the first time I ever knew like to do that or like, I didn't know what I was doing and it was just me and my dad. So I kind of had to lead us anyway. And I remember I went to the cancellation line and I was like, can I get a ticket to see Wicked? And it was only one because like we didn't have a lot of money and it was just going to be for me. And there was, and it was a great seat. It was like in G or K or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And I was blown away. And like that was just this moment with like my dad being here that weekend and we saw shows together. And I was so happy. And it was Kristen. And I remember because Joey, I was like texting you about it. Do you remember that? I don't know if you remember like just T-Mobile sidekick moments. And I was like,
best phone to this day.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
T-Mobile sidekick was wild.
Bring it
That
back.
was a wild.
Bring
Bring her back.
Bring her back. Oh,
Bring her, yes.
Donnell, when I met you, did you have a BlackBerry or were we already in the iPhone era at that point? We were already in the iPhone era at that point. Yeah, we were in iPhone era when I met you. Yeah.
It reminded me throughout high school, me and my friend used to go, if it was like a school break, like a holiday or summertime, we would go to New York and we would buy a cheap ticket to something that we're like, yeah, we'll see that. But we would always do the Wicked lottery. Because we're like, if we get that, we're doing that. We're not seeing. And I remember we Lennon, we bought a ticket to. We were like, we'll go see it. Well, I guess. And then like whatever was playing, we're like, well, we have to go. And I think we won once out of like the 8 times we tried. It was like, we're always gonna go there first. Always go there and try.
Yeah.
Just put your name
That
in.
is very true. What
That's
you
so smart.
we all did that.
The contingency
yeah.
of that.
It was,
Yeah.
Wicked was the gold standard. I mean, that's what we wanted to see. We were we would see other things that was important because we were students, but
Yes.
ultimately, fangirls.
I wanna
Can
see
I
that.
tell you?
Yeah, like, we gotta go back.
I gotta tell you one thing about Kristen Chenoweth that will make everyone just think how much cool. I mean, she's a very cool lady. I mean, in many ways, she's a complicated woman, aren't we all? But she's had a complicated year, which maybe we'll get into Queen of Versailles. Who knows? But she said something that made me feel like such a movie star. We went backstage earlier. Was not that performance. Kristen had already finished her run way before Idina. But at an earlier time when I went to go see the show, I went backstage and Kristen like signed my program. And I think I had just gotten into NYU. Maybe, I had just found out, or maybe I was going to apply. I can't remember. And my cousin Alex is telling, that I'm going to study musical theater. And she looks at me, she goes, "Oh, baby, I'll see you in the hood. I'll see you in the hood." And I said, okay, Miss Chataway.
Work.
Yes.
Wow.
I love that.
I remember thinking wow, are we going to be Broadway stars? Is that
Yeah.
what's going to happen? Together?
I remember thinking that too, long ago.
Yeah. Oh
Well,
my God.
Is there a show? Is this Steven Schwartz?
Yes.
Riverside?
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Another time.
Another time. Yes.
So we have all seen Wicked for good. And
For
are
better
we
or
better?
for worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where shall we begin?
I've been trying to answer this question all day in preparation. I'm like, I don't know where to begin. Should we start at thank
Let's-
goodness? Like,
I was going to say we should start at a good place. Let's start
Okay.
with let's start with something that I think maybe universally we can all agree was just a lovely. How do we feel about As Long as You're Mine?
no.
Oh, and
There's something about it being a separate movie and it being a year
Yeah.
later that I'm just kind of like, okay, like you
Yeah.
could have did this the first time. Like you could have made the
Yes.
first one like 3.5 and I would have been fine.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of like, okay, like nothing like, because we're completing the story. Like it's just supposed to be intermission, not a full year. So now I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
there's not really much, I don't want to say not excitement, but it's like everything's being tied up. So I'm kind of just like, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like they're great. And like, I love the show, but as two separate things, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'll revisit this one as much as I watched the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just because the like mood of it,
Yeah. Yeah.
Donnell,
Yeah.
I could not agree with you more. Thank you for leading the way here. I really do. I remember when they first announced they were going to make it a two-parter. The cynic in me is like, it's a money grab, and rightfully so. Very smart of you. However, is it going to be to the detriment of the story? And I think it was. I think this musical and this story isn't made, like Donnell said, to split up. If anything, give us the 3.5 hour Titanic. Give us the 4-hour Brutalist.
Yeah.
It's been done. We'll sit through it. But let's go
With a built-in intermission.
Yes, but it requires a drive that I think is sacrificed, and it's not. And I have a thing with sequels or whatever. It should stand alone, right? A good movie is a good movie, and this one hinges on the first, and that's tough for an audience, I think.
Yeah. Agreed.
I agree. That is actually something. That's a take that I feel like I have espoused before. that nothing should require source material. It shouldn't feel like you're out of the know. Like Stranger Things on Broadway right now. If you've never seen Stranger Things ever in your whole life, maybe you'd be missing some things, but overall you could still really enjoy it.
Okay.
I don't know that that's true of Wicked, obviously. You kind of do need to see it. You need to really have experience and have some recall of part one to really enjoy it. But I'm going to give them a pass only because I don't think it's appropriate to call it a sequel. It's really just a continuation.
Yeah.
It's just an addendum. And we use the term sequel because that's what we use, but it doesn't stand alone. And I wish that they had advertised it more as that. Perhaps it feels like part two.
Part
two
two.
for good.
Yeah.
Part two, I get that, but I wish it had been first of all, at the beginning, I wish there had been a more sumptuous recap, like a real recap.
But then I think,
You don't think
that
that would've helped?
makes it. Because that's not giving part 2. That's giving like sequel. It's like,
Yeah. So then
if it's just part 2, then we don't have to talk about it. We should just keep going. But
Right.
it is a year later, so you kind of need to like.
It's essentially trying to just pretend that the intermission
Was a year long.
Yeah, like, and it was a year. Like, they're
Yeah.
just, they were kind of like, okay, suspend your disbelief for this year, and and like, so on
They never
from
tell
that
us how
front,
long has gone. Like we don't
Yeah.
actually know how much time has passed.
Mhm.
Everyone's just an adult now, or like everyone has like different jobs and not in school
Grown.
anymore, and they're doing with their own thing.
yes,
But it's
Yeah,
like,
grown.
okay,
yes, I did clock that timing that I never really clocked in the show. Like in the show, I'm like, okay, like she just has that she went from like junior to varsity, Glinda, and Elphaba's dress is giving like McQueen. You know what I mean? But with
but they were
this
fully
one,
students. And then it's
that's
like,
what I mean. So,
they're
but like
not anymore.
for the first time ever, I finally felt. I just was like, oh wait, how much time has gone by? I did have that question.
No.
That did come into my mind on this watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Juan. Go.
I was just gonna say, going to thank goodness. Here's a thing that a musical can do. A musical on stage can build momentum and can drive toward intermission. Like a really masterful Act 1
Yeah, it
can
matters.
get you all the way. It's just a mountain. It just climbs and climbs and climbs and climbs. You're high, and then your Act 2 opener, what brings you back in, is the way that you can kind of calm the jitters of the end of Act 1. And thank goodness doesn't get to do that because it's needing to build instead of calm and reflect. Now that's the beginning.
Is it split in the movie? Like it's like not, it's kind of
That was a bit of my
separated.
yes. It is. If by do you mean kind of like it starts, some other stuff
Stops.
happens, we move, and then we kind of come back to it, and it ends after like bookmarking a scene or two or something like that. That I
Yeah,
do believe that did happen. Yes.
Glenda's vocals, I was like, felt like a break from the rest of the song. I was like, oh, okay, she's singing that. Like I was like, but that was attached to, okay,
That used to be
You know.
there.
yeah.
But what were you
Man.
going to say about it? About thank goodness you had something you were going to say, Joey.
Oh, I don't know if I did. I was just trying to pick a place to start. I think a lot of what I feel is kind of what we're all hinting at, or maybe not all of us. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think the foundation here is we are fans. We do know a version of the show that, because of its format being on stage, worked in the way that it did. And so I think that there's something to be said. Like, I know I'm a biased watcher, right? Coming into this, because I have something to base it on. But ultimately, I think something that this movie struggled with in both parts was a lack of momentum when it mattered. We have music that naturally drives, that was worked on to create momentum, and we constantly made a choice to extend and elaborate, and it's almost like you never got, it almost never crescendoed. And I mean, to me, the biggest atrocity was in Wicked Part 1 in Defying Gravity, when we added in 2 bars of Unlimited to add in a reflective moment that's already built in. Like, we know what's happening. And I think that just for me and Wicked for Good just sort of continued. Like, we just pulled everything a little too far, that in the name of maybe adding depth or adding nuance, I think ultimately just created something a bit
Thinner, yeah.
Or sometimes to add realism.
Right.
Here's an example, and thank goodness. And in musicals, you are required to suspend your disbelief so much.
I know what you're going to say.
You're able, probably. You're able to suspend your disbelief so much that you are able to forgive things, right? And I wanted John Chu to say, you know what, babes? Fiyero and Glinda are not going to go behind the thing. They're going to stay right there, and no one's going to hear them because it's a musical.
Right.
They're going to be right there having a conversation, and no one's going to hear them. And that's got to go fast, honey. That's fast, 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 fast. He leaves. He's just gone to fetch me a glass of water. He's so thoughtful that way.
Yep.
That's why. Right into it. I mean, the tempo's right there. Just that's a scene.
I did appreciate that we got to see Ari up close in that scene.
Me too.
I enjoyed watching her that
Show me
interval,
the eyes.
but
yes,
it would've
for
been
sure.
No.
in front of everybody.
But it's those little moments where, like, we were trying to build realism when what we needed to do was just play the song. Also, another moment where that realism creeps in was Morrible. Morrible, in her would be the good fortune witch hunters ramp up, when Glinda confronts her and says, "That tornado, Miss Ma'am, is who do you think you are, Miss Girl, Miss Ma'am?" And she says, "Now you listen here, Miss Goody Two Shoes. The rest of Oz may have fallen for that aren't I good routine, but I know better. You wanted this from the very beginning." That monologue, this was missing. You wanted this from the very beginning. Now, look at me, young girl. And I needed that moment in front of everyone. Instead of this private aside, that is right there on the balcony of La Casa Rosada. That is Don't Cry For Me, Argentina.
Yes.
That scene happens in front of everyone. So that Michelle Yeoh can play, "No, you listen here, the rest of us may have fallen for your aren't I good routine, but I know better. You wanted this from the very beginning. Good fortune, witch hunters." It's right there. That's all right there.
I mean, when we're talking about good casting, Juan was here the whole time.
I mean, come on.
Like, but
Goosebumps.
this does, I think my overarching thing is like, there were directorial things, like where, kind of to your point, Juan, we're making room for realism, but I don't think we were focusing enough. Like, I think about Wicked Witch of the East, and not the realism, but the reality of the circumstances and the stakes. And I think too frequently in this film, we sacrificed either a momentum of a song for a realism moment, or intention of a song for staging or for beauty. Like, I just think there were directorial choices that ultimately for me did not deliver on the promise of the title, which is Wicked. She never, for me in this movie, was truly wicked. And to me, that's what falls flat, is her Elphaba's arc is, I'm good, I have, and you want to, okay, fine, fuck it. You think I'm wicked? I will be wicked. And we never saw her fight. We never saw her ugly. We never saw her mean. Even their fight scene was a cute fight. When she goes to Nessa's grave and kneels down, where was the, like,
Where was
the heartbreak?
No.
Where was the anger? Where was the vitriol? We were trying to make her so likable, and I don't blame the actresses for this. I don't blame anybody. I just think onus does fall on who's holding the story as, the director to craft it. And I don't even fault John Chu. I think he did a wonderful job in so many regards. But we sacrificed story and intention, and I think that's where the movie falls apart.
I will say I loved it. But I loved it because I think it was ambitious, and all those things when we're saying we added space musically, I actually like a lot of the music. I like what we've added. It's that maybe there wasn't anything happening during those times, but I do like the extra music. I like these kind of new riffs on themes that are familiar, and there's something about that. It's appealing. But that scene, the fight scene, what I needed were Nessa's tootsies under the house.
I said, where are the feet?
Yeah, where are the feet? I was waiting for how they were going to reveal it.
If I don't get that, then I need some wheels and some bar handles from the wheelchair just all strewn about. I need some chaos there. I need something. Her hairpin, her dress, a tattered, but nothing at all. Just the house. No.
Honestly, after that scene of her
becoming Wicked Witch of the East.
No, like screaming Bach, going down the Yellow Brick Road during a tornado. I don't know if I needed to see
all of that
anything again. I was like, this is a lot to take in.
Yeah, I see what. Yes,
I'll say this because I'm no longer a woman of the musical theater, and I have less at stake. Perhaps. I needed to see her walk. Get up.
I completely agree. It's a plot point and thus a plot hole. You do not. Yes.
She said she was floating.
She said she was
floating.
She did.
That was
They did. No, and it worked. It worked. It worked very well. It worked.
But wasn't the
very
whole
well.
point that she helped her out, and so
Yes.
therefore she was going to be able to walk for the rest of her life and still want Bach with her? So that's the
No,
whole thing.
and Bach want her now that what she thinks
Yeah,
is
that's
she's not
true.
desirable because she's in a wheelchair.
walk,
So the promise is, let me walk. You do not ask your magical sister to help you get your boyfriend back by making you float in the middle of a room.
for 5 seconds.
Yeah, but can I tell you the heartbreaking part of that scene? Because I love Nessa. Okay,
Me too.
Here's what's heartbreaking about that scene. Okay.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Everyone thinks that what they think that they want, that they need to get, is not what they have to get. That's what I love
Exactly.
about it. Okay. She thinks that if I can walk, he will want me.
Uh-huh.
He thinks if she can walk, she won't need me.
Need me.
You
Uh-huh.
need me, yeah.
She has never, there is no world, she is not, even if she had been walking the whole time, he was never going to like her. That's
Yeah.
the part that is
Yes.
so exciting. And when we do not get her to see her walk, then we have a problem, because now she does still need him.
Right.
And he doesn't get the payoff of being like that hilarious moment in the music where he's like, "Oh wow, you're walking. Bye. I don't need you. You don't need me anymore." It's a very funny moment in the musical. So here's my happy medium. Are you ready for it?
Okay.
I thought about this
I
in
love
the
it.
shower today. How can we solve this problem and be sensitive to 2025 so that we don't like do something ableist by insinuating that the only way for her to be happy is to walk? Elphaba flies on a broomstick. What if she had endowed something for Nessa to be able to fly?
She did. It's the slippers.
The slippers, that's what I'm saying. The
And
slippers
I-
are supposed to, yes.
Yes.
But
Flippers are what make her walk.
that's
yeah.
the implication.
She-
We don't see her. She's not then floating through the tornado.
Well,
because
that's Well, that's what I'm saying.
Why
is,
wouldn't
like-
she continue to float?
Well, but here's the thing: is in the show she was never floating; she was just walking. So if she
Correct.
was walking down the yellow brick road and then the house fell on her, which makes sense by the way, because you never see the wheelchair in the show and you never see it in The Wizard of Oz. But here she ain't walking; she just float. She like puts 5 cents in the machine and it's like doot 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 doot. You get to fly, and then she comes back into the wheelchair. That is
the solve was there all along. I
Yeah.
endow your shoes make
Yeah.
you walk. You
Yeah.
walk down the yellow brick road, a house falls on you, we see your shoes and your feet.
You're literally so happy you're walking during a tornado because you're so happy it doesn't matter, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't think she's walking down the yellow brick road. I think she just gets swept up in the tornado. I didn't imagine her being
Yes,
on the. Why was
yes.
she there?
Okay, yes,
She was looking
agreed.
for Bob.
Sorry.
Right, okay.
Agreed with that.
Well, here
okay.
she's looking for Bach in this episode.
Okay.
But
In
uh-huh.
this world.
the timeline tracks because we make the silver shoes ruby slippers. The silver slippers go ruby. She
Correct.
can now walk.
Yeah.
The whole box situation, great. He's gone. She's pissed. She leaves, and now when the house falls, the slippers are ruby because they're still enchanted, which implies she can still walk.
Right.
But what you did is you reverted them to a silver slipper, and she's like, "Give me back those shoes." They have no power.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. And but then here's why I'm pitching a third object, a new object
Okay,
for her to
okay.
use to fly, is because then Dorothy's got the shoes, and how come she can't fly?
Well, I do agree. I think it's less that she couldn't fly. The problem is she shouldn't be flying to begin with. I think
Correct,
what it
you're right,
allowed
you're right.
Dorothy to do was walk with a little more pep.
Yeah. Yes.
She had a long journey, and they were
What
like,
I love
"We'll get you there."
right now, there is a group of Gregory Maguire nerds who are literally putting knives in our voodoo dolls for the hacking that we're doing at the book and at the libretto. But we're just trying to make sense of the
Yeah.
musical versus the movie. Okay.
Can you remind me of the shoes given to her by her dad when she gets to school? Who gives her the shoes?
Yeah. Yes.
The dad, yeah.
They were her mother's.
So
okay.
yeah, and you know the other thing I love about Nessa is that Nessa is such a weak and twisted, dark woman, and I don't get a sense of her wickedness in this. Because I think by taking away that very superficial desire, which it's not superficial to her. Obviously, it's this desire to walk, but what she wants to be is beautiful to Bach. She wants to be She wants him to just lust over her as he does for Glinda, and that speaks to something inherently dark about her, and that she is willing to use her sister and when she needs her, but then also push her away because she's so ashamed of her. At the same time, Nessa's a very complicated, dark woman who has gone through a lot, and we don't get to quite get that. For some reason, it's missing. But I actually like Marissa's performance. Her name is Marissa, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, I like her performance. I don't love the vocals, but I like her performance.
I was gonna say, but they don't set us up with that in movie one anyway. In movie one, because now I know what it is at the end, I remembered not being so mad about it. I actually kind of liked this idea that they're friends and that they like each other and that she has a softness for Elphaba. It's not necessarily like I don't realize that I'm also getting great treatment, but it's like, I love you, sis. But then I don't like, to what you're saying, I didn't get this switch and enjoyment of her also deciding and feeling like she's giving Wicked. You know what I mean? And that was disappointing.
But it's there. It's in the script. It's just
It's in the script, but that's why I think this goes back to a directorial thing, is we did not deliver on the promise of the themes. The point of Wicked is to take what is essentially archetypal. That's what Wizard of Oz is. Archetypes, symbols, Jung. It's to take what is the archetype of us all and show the humanity of it. And to show humanity, we have to show duality. And so Elphaba is good, but she is looked at and becomes wicked. Everyone else who is considered good reveals themselves to be wicked. Madame Morrible doesn't deliver on the promise because she's playing disdain for Glinda the entire 2 films. So when the turn happens, we don't buy. I don't buy it. Elphaba plays good so much, we never get wicked. Like, it's the same that happens with Nessa. She's good, but look, when she doesn't get what she wants, look at the wickedness that lives in all of us. And that to me is what's missing. And why we're picking these scenes apart and going, what happened? It's because we didn't allow our characters to get ugly when it mattered.
Juan, what are you thinking right now?
I know I have so many opinions and I say them very strongly, but I'm open.
No, I'm really taking that in. I'm taking it in because I've thought a lot about Morrible. I think Morrible is the key to. There are certain characters that don't do all that much and that mean a lot to a show. Grisabella, for example. Memory is a very small portion of Cats, but it's an outsized presence, right?
Speaking of Grisabella, it's all I could think of when Elphaba was singing "As Long as You're Mine" in that rag, in that cardigan. I was like, "Is this Cats?"
Cardigan? Which we're gonna get to that.
Sorry, continue. Continue.
No, we're gonna get to vocals and that cardigan in a minute. But the thing with Morrible is that Morrible was not really in a musical, and she's such an exquisite actress, but she just wasn't in a musical.
What happened?
Was
this come down from Everything Everywhere all at once? Like, what was going on? Like,
yeah, it was that.
She never gave me the I was like, girl, what's going on with you? And my question is, Morrible, besides Elphaba, is she technically like the most powerful one of all of them?
Yeah.
Why is she like up under the wizard the whole time? Like, girl, like you have more power than all these people. What's going on?
Yeah.
Plot hole.
Like, what are you waiting for? Like, what are you like? Well, I don't know if that's just like patriarchy. Like, I don't know if she's just like has to be under the man. But I'm like, what is the like? You could run all of this. Like, what's going on?
It could be that thing of like, you could be up front, or maybe you're more powerful one step to the side, like a great first lady.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, but the wizard really can't do anything, and she knows that. So, like, okay, and then you're helping Elphaba, but like now you're against her because she's against you and the establishment, and Glinda can't do nothing either. So what are we doing here? Like, you need to like take over.
In her defense, that's the interesting thing. She's an insecure woman. There is something she knows her limits, and it's really weather.
Yeah. Right. But, well, I get. Yeah.
That fucks everything up. Like, the weather is the tea. Like,
the weather is the tea.
Like,
the weather is the tea. off with that. She said,
Like,
you know
yeah,
what?
like okay.
It is their only move.
Yeah.
Weather.
Yeah. Weather. Yes.
What I miss is, oh God, this is such an interesting thing. This is so niche, but just go with me.
Yeah.
In the musical, she is in charge of Nessa at the top of the of Shiz. We see a soft moment. We really don't know who Morrible's gonna be because the first thing we see is just her warm welcome to Nessa.
Yeah.
And really, all she's doing that is what, to like be nice to the governor, like to keep, you know, to
Airs up. Yes.
to do her duty as, you know, as a teacher and to protect this student that is the daughter of an important person. But there's not like there isn't something to that. There's just a nice teacher who's eccentric, and then we have to see it.
Yeah.
But Michelle said, "Fuck them kids" from the top.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. And we're missing something from Morrible. And it's in Thank Goodness. And it's her little interlude that explains the stakes for what's going on with Glinda.
Yes.
Yeah. For the day you were summoned to an audience with Oz, although he would not tell you why initially, when he bowed you for his throne and decreed you hence be known, Glinda the good officially, then with the the wicked went past concealment, where she had been hiding surreptitiously. And then we have to hear that. I hear she
Glinda
has
understudy.
an extra eye that always remains awake.
And then the alphabet understudy.
Correct. Yeah. So we're missing that, and that's an important part for Glinda. But anyway, it's interesting. Okay, so now I want to talk about vocals because I'm on the line with. Is this bitch recording? I'm on the line with vocalists here. There's not a bitch in this room who can't sing. Down. Donnell first and foremost.
Okay.
I mean,
Yes.
no shade to these other girls. I don't. Sorry to these men, but you're the best singer in the house.
Don't worry, I put myself fourth instantly in this room. I'm like, I'm number 4.
Okay.
I will say my thought about Act 2.
Best vocals.
No Good Deed will eat always. That's my favorite. That's my favorite of this movie was No Good Deed. I was like, thank you for giving me all the options that we wanted, a few new ones. Appreciate it, and it gave me like, this is a musical.
Yeah.
There's so many things about it that I'm like, this is a movie. Great, but I want it to be a little more like, I want to feel that energy of the musical, and so like No Good Deed I lived for. For Good I loved. I loved it, but that's the song and the story, like the story and where it is, and like it made me emotional for that reason.
Yeah.
Vocally throughout, I don't know, like As Long As You're Mine. My issue with As Long As You're Mine is the style of it. I feel like it took me out a little bit because it feels very different in the show anyway. I feel like giving like Quiet Storm, R&B, sultry moment, and which isn't how the rest of the show sounds in a way. But I thought of this one. I was watching it and I was like, what would a kid think watching Act 2? Like, what is the feeling of this? Like, how does it read as its own movie? And I was like, there's something musically that's just a little like
Skip.
It's sparse. I don't know if it's like sparse or if it's just like there's not big moments like Act 1 for me. Like there's not as many, I should say. Not as many. Ari I loved, but there's like the way she was singing, like because her voice is like older in Act 2, like she's a little more sat in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was less excitement in it. There was less like I wasn't like blown away in the way that like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I it's hard to describe. Like I love the way she sounded, but there was something like.
Yes, I know. There was a daintiness, I think, to the sound of the movie that, and even that word is just the first one that's popping in my head. But like, it's kind of what we're saying is what is missing from the sort of Megan Hilty of like, thank good, you know what I mean? Do you know what that's the note? And
I
like,
wanted to go to church on that one. I wanted a little bit.
I want you to go to church on that. And so much around the way that was built in the show is just we're going to this churchy moment for Glinda, which is like very satisfying, which I think is just it is distilled in the movie. The extra music, fine, is nice, but then what's happening to fill it is not it's not nutritious for me as the audience / a fan who's like, oh, well, then you're going to make, no, you didn't. And then vocally, it just felt a little soft from everybody. Like, I think No Good Deed 8 for sure. A moment in As Long As You're Mine that I really liked
Jonathan was great.
was Jonathan.
I was like,
yeah.
When he came in, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know
exactly.
we were going to go there. Okay.
Yeah, falling under your spell.
Yeah.
Like everything he was giving, I was like, we're belting. You know what I mean? Like we're really kind of using all of our voice, and it hurt. I heard it like it was louder. And For Good, same thing. I was like, oh, this is really nice. Like it's so nice. And moments really got me. But again, because momentum was killed a lot, by the time it got to For Good, I was a little like, oh, okay, yeah, For Good.
It's weird. I think it's hearing it back. Like, I think of Act 2 as like 4 songs. Like Thank Goodness,
yes,
As Long As You're Mine, No Good
problem.
Deed, For Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really, yeah.
It's exactly what I was going to say. An act 2 in a musical in any show is notoriously like your make or break. An act 2 is hard. And they crafted it down to a nice 45, 50 minute where I think you do get what we're feeling we're missing from this one, you get in the stage version because we're moving. So before you know it, you're at No Good Deed. You don't feel like you're wafting through
Trying to make it more than
like you're getting a different but its own momentum. And instead here we added some extra songs that, in my opinion, were the songs you cut out of town. In your out of town tryout, you're like, ooh, this was deep, but like not enough, whatever. And then I also think, I know I'm coming so hard.
You're literally going against the disclaimer we gave before we started
I know,
recording.
well, because it comes from a place of like, if you made a movie, like I bow down to you, period.
Yeah.
Good, bad, pass, fail.
yeah, of course,
You did
agreed.
the thing, and
Yeah.
I am in awe of you.
Yeah.
And from that place of fuck yes, it's like, now here's what we could work on for
Notes.
next time.
Correct.
Like when we do it
Love
again tomorrow, let's look at these.
Yes.
Right? So with that, anyway, that's a lot of what I felt. It's just For Good. I'm gonna go. Okay, sorry. Give me 2 seconds. As Long As You're Mine. I know this is a movie for kids, but free the nip. We're putting Jonathan Bale, the people's sexiest man alive, in a like Hallmark female cover-up sheet.
Yeah.
Let the man's nipples show, or crop him tighter.
I see.
It feels weird to me. The direction of that scene, that's about the two of you, not about the note on the wall and the tree out your window.
Literally the first thing, we should just explain, the first thing I said when I saw it after Joey was also going to see it and we chatted about, and it's the first thing I said to Juan was, why is she walking away from him on her first verse of As Long As You're Mine? And why is he, okay, he's like in poster, he's like looking at the poster, Wicked Witch of the West, like he's looking at Britney Spears's like Oops, I Did It Again, Dream Within a Dream, like world tour poster, where she looks amazing, by the way, because you would see that and be like, oh, I gotta admire. But he was looking at this like drawn picture of Elphaba, and like they're not singing to each other. Like what? It didn't make any sense.
Why is she taking this jacket off during the song? The jacket needs to be off already, or leave it on.
Yeah,
Stop
I don't need to see
playing
her
with your
giving me
arms.
Gypsy Rose Lee. I don't need
I
any of that.
You know, I have this thing with musicals. It's like anything can work if you make it work.
If you work it.
Yeah.
For example,
okay.
like there's a good example in Wizard and I on Broadway. What's like the number one thing? One of the things you're never told to do is like back
Breathe.
up under yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Never breathe. Yeah, no breaths allowed. Linda Eder only. So you're not supposed to like at the pivotal moment of your song, like the most generic notes are don't turn your back, don't upstage yourself, and don't literally upstage yourself and move backwards when you're supposed to be your energy is supposed to be coming forward. Well, Patti LuPone spends most of her time on stage with her back to the audience, and it's very, very powerful. And Elphaba on Broadway in The Wizard and I is staged to literally like step back on with me, right? She's backing up and she does that, and it's the most incredible, powerful moment. So all rules are meant to be broken, but at the top of As Long As You're Mine, she's walking away from him. I'm not saying that it's a wrong choice. She's walking away as she's talking about how she wants to be close, but the direction should then be come.
Correct.
Exactly.
Aren't you getting it?
The key here is intention.
Yeah.
And I think what the examples you're doing with Elphaba on Broadway with Patti LuPone, there's an intention to carry it. I think what happened for me as an observer too often was it felt like he didn't always know what to do with the space and the music in a movie. So it was like walk seemed to be a lot of the thing. Walk and we'll follow you.
Do something, yeah.
But if you're going to do that, walk and pull him to you.
Yes. Like, show me the wickedness. You know what I mean? Like, show me. Goon. I need you to goon over Jonathan Bailey. Because everyone else in my audience, by the way, the young adults that I was with, which was actually the most fun part about seeing the film, is I was like, baby, it's giving like when you go see Rocky Horror and everyone's like, Janet, you know what I mean? Like that. People were going crazy over Jonathan, which was so amazing to experience.
He's great.
He really, we play the tape. Last year, I was giving a little like, we could have cast other people, blah, blah. And if I'm being like fully honest, like in terms of vocal like prowess and just like singer, he doesn't really give that to me. But I don't care because he's still a good singer. But but his eyes and what he made me smile, and he's playful, and like I don't know, it was really on a sort of gay, like happy boy gay level, core. To see and hear girls fawn over him was just like it was so cool and amazing and beautiful and fun. Anyway,
where you really see that he's an amazing actor is that things that would typically be funny could be really funny, like not funny, like supposed to be funny, but like funny to watch when he is pointing the gun toward Glinda.
Yes.
That scene on Broadway is often like,
yeah,
it's very uncomfortable and strange, and you're like, and he's like almost playing like Mighty Mouse. He really was playing that like, no, what's going on here? I'm doing this.
Jonathan Bailey is superb because nothing ever trumps for him the truth of the moment.
Intention.
And so he can maybe not be the best singer, but you don't care because you believe every moment that man serves up to you.
And just what I mean by singer is just like, we're not putting like Harry Styles in as Fiyero. We're not taking this mega movie musical and like putting in a Jonas brother. Like it's that where, but he love his voice. Like so happy. I literally was like, okay, like I like what he did on As Long as You're Mine. Like it's like some cool things happening there. Like yes, like superb.
For me, it was
absolutely.
the way he talks is also so low and so muted that I was like, can he get up there? And he did. So I was like, oh, great.
Yeah.
That was
That's
my only
exactly right. It's very surprising.
Juan, go.
We talked about the walking. We talked about the walking, and this was if you play back to our episode last year, we talked about the Wizard and I and her walking around. And my note was, it's a musical. Just like make a fake stage, have her stand on it, put us in front, and just like have her play to us. Just like film the scene from the front with an Osmo Pocket 3. But he really wants to like take you somewhere. He wants to like give you a tour of the venue, and that was the girl in the bubble. She was all about, and then through that master closet, penthouse, suite, resort, hotel, and casino, she was really going through there, and really that she could have just been like at the vanity.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah,
She
I
could,
love it. I will say we got the child moment. I appreciated the kid moment that Alphabet had in Act 1. Seeing the
For
little girl,
her.
it's like, okay, thank you. But I didn't need a song. I don't need either of the new songs.
Yeah.
I don't
Either.
need either of them.
Yeah.
But as far as new songs go in musicals, when they've added songs, I think these are solid.
I think though, part of me is that I don't think they're written in the style of Wicked. Like we're not in 2002 anymore, so I get it. But it's like it doesn't sound the same to me. Like when Elphaba started singing, I was like, this isn't a song that Elphaba would sing. Like
that's a really
I
good point.
To like Adina Menzel sing it. I was like, how would this sound in the musical? I was like, no.
Oh my God.
This
It would be
doesn't
like,
work.
no place like her.
First of all, it would sound amazing if she's got the best tone of any human on earth.
Idina is numero un.
Yeah.
There's the best singer. She's the best
Queen.
singer. That's
Yes.
it. The
Wait,
voice
It wasn't
is
giving me Elphaba
magnetic.
though. It wasn't giving
It's
me
electric.
Boogie woogie woogie.
Now, you know what it kind of sounded like? It sounded a little bit like If Then. Another
I don't know if then enough.
I don't know
It's-
if then.
yeah.
I don't know
the
that.
final song in If Then, it had a little bit of like an Irishy like
Folk?
sea song feel.
Oh,
like
okay.
There's no place like home. There was like almost like a little bit of a shanty, like it'd be sung by a captain of a ship.
You know,
There was something like, there was something to that.
if I knew the music, then I might agree, but I don't know.
Yeah, right. So we'll put a fine point on, and then we'll maybe move on. But like the girl in the bubble, I like what it's supposed to do. I think it's a little similar to Thank Goodness in its ambition and what it's saying to do. But I was telling the boys, if you really want to love Wicked, listen to Stephen Schwartz talk about it. That's it. He will sell there's this thing called The Land of Oz on Spotify, and there's a map and you click different places on the map and he talks a little bit about each song. I mean, you can also go to Broadway World and watch him do it too. He did a performance. And when he talks about a song, you're like, oh, yes, sir. Absolutely. I'm buying, because I get it. I can tell that his passion for these songs really matters, and he's ambitious and he's trying something, and he cares so much about these lyrics and everything. And I think The Girl in the Bubble is ambitious. Adding a song to these iconic, really characters that we already know how they sound, how they speak, and how they think. Giving them more words is not easy.
It's near impossible.
It's near impossible. It is. But I almost wish that I like The Girl in the Bubble. I kind of wish that the song was more a totally different thing. Like, what if it was not contemplative, right? What if it was like another time when Glinda's trying to perform for herself? Like, imagine The Girl in the Bubble, but while she's talking to other people and she's coming to that realization. It's like another kind of Thank Goodness.
I know. I was like, that is literally Thank Goodness.
Yeah, but it's like another kind of Thank Goodness, like an up-tempo. Like a manic, something crazy. Something, like just something totally
I'm with you.
strange. A woman having a breakdown.
Yes.
A Rose's turn, if you will.
Yeah.
Like, not alone, not small, but big and outside of herself.
Totally.
And I wish that, at the end of that, she gets small and the soprano gets sweet, and I wish it had just gotten Renee Fleming, like, big,
I just want, it made me think, like, where did she go? What happens to her? It makes me like, because everyone's left. Everyone's gone but her.
Well, that's my question, because then the book moment at the end is like, Elphaba's walking through the Sierras with Bailey, which is actually the Deadly Desert, but they're not dying on it, which is fine. Anyway, but she like turns back, and then like the book opens and Glinda looks at the book. And
I actually love this part.
And I was genuinely curious. I was like, oh my God, are we going to get like a continuation of like the Glinda movie, which I would really love. But it made me go like, wait, what? I was like, oh, like, what is it doing? What is this doing?
For me, it actually was one of the most successful moments in terms of theme that I didn't understand, actually. It taught me something I didn't think about when I saw the stage show. Okay. For me, that moment was, and maybe I'm reading into it, the Grimmery reading, okay, is under a realization that it opens for the pure of heart.
Goodness.
And it opens for actual goodness, which is something in between. Not the performance of good, it's someone with a pure intention.
Goosebumps.
It bumped me, it goosebumped me up. I was like, ooh.
Work.
Successful.
Like so now, because this moment has happened for her, and so everyone's had their arc. Now she is kind of pure to what you're saying. And can I tell you something I thought about when I was listening to Wizard and I for the time? She goes, "So I'll make good," and I had a moment. I was like, "Oh, she does. She makes Glinda good." Yeah. Like, and I just had this thought because it's like that song. She's talking about like, and people will cheer and this big thing will happen. And Juan brought this up last time, and it's just so perfect. It's like, yeah, but the cheering is because it's for your death, and like the thing she's singing about, it's so sad and it's tragic, right? But then I was like, oh, like, so I'll make good. And if we're going with the theme of their friendship, she does that. She makes Glinda actually Glinda the good. And it makes me like kind of warm inside. And I don't know if that's like that would be a question I'd ask Steven and the writers of like, was that kind of always something you thought about, or is it as literal as she just wants to do good? And am I reading into the Grimmery?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. The Grimmery is there's a lot to be read. I saw someone actually on TikTok posit why Nessa is able to kind of do a half spell. Even though she may not be, it may speak to a purity of Nessa's character also. A sincere desire to like, I think the TikToker said that moment when she gets the decree saying that she needs to tell all the animals that they can't travel, she hesitates. And she knows what's right. And the TikToker was saying this is their take, that's why I keep crediting them, it's not mine, that she knows what's right and she wants to do it. She's not like, I'm not doing this just because I cannot be perceived like her.
Yeah.
It was very practical. So that Nessa, to kind of go against what I was saying earlier, there is something about the Throps, something about those kids that does have something special about them, that there is a sweetness and a tenderness, and she doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't even know what trick she ought to try, and she takes that little boy's heart away, big time. But, I think there is that's an interesting thing when you think about for whom the book opens.
Yeah. Whom? Yeah, exactly.
I love that pure of heart, not take, but you know what I mean. Because I was just like, oh, that's Elphaba's way of still communicating with her, is what I got from it. Of like, she's always she'll be around, like she's here in the air. It's kind of thing. But you can't
I like
see
that
her.
too.
You're not gonna see her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, she's giving her a little like, I'm still here, girl. Like,
I'll always be with you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yes, and.
Yes. Speaking of yes anding, have you heard about the yes anding take that perhaps Coleman Domingo will have his own moment in the sun?
Are they doing the other book? Isn't there a Cowardly Lion book from the Wicked writer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So they're doing that? Gregory Maguire, yeah.
What is the book called?
There's a few out there. Like,
Son of a Witch. I forget what the lion one's called.
Yeah, no, but the lion one specifically is...
It's like Son of a Coward.
A Lion Among Men.
A Lion Among Men.
A Lion Among Men.
I haven't read any of the other books.
I was really mad at the Cowardly Lion. I said, Miss Girl, that you're trying, but again, this is, I always say, I'm like, I never got any birthday parties, and my family's like, Ian, you got birthday parties. So like, I may be misremembering my life. Like, I will afford him that same thing. But literally, like, so many people told you, no, I saved you. I took you out of that cage. And it's like, you weren't listening. You weren't listening, girl. And you just kept spewing. You know what I mean? Which brings me to, we're jumping here, but you know who really gags me? To the point where I'm like, about it. He scared me so much because talk about an arc. Ethan motherfucking Slater.
He was excellent.
He was incredible. And when he looks up, it's, on the third intermissioned, thank goodness, or March of the Witch Hunters moment, he looks up and Glinda is looking down. And when he looks up at her and there's this moment before he sings, it literally was like, everyone was like, woo, woo. I don't know what was happening in the audience, but it was just loud, I think, musically. And to my breath, I was like, whoa. Like I was taken aback by his steel.
Oh, it was amazing.
We got ugliness. We
earned.
Yes. And
we earned, and I have a personal score. He's the only, because I'm like, but the Cowardly, you all know who but he, to see in real time, I was like, oh, I know why you're doing that. Like, he's showing me the entire time why that moment still belonged there. You know what I mean?
He also is telling the lion what to feel.
Yes, exactly.
My whole thing, whenever we have Dorothy and the Friends in Wicked, is tracking the Scarecrow.
Yes,
and his
that was hard
relationship
for
with
me.
them. And what is he talking about? But he doesn't have a brain. So are we to assume that he doesn't remember any of the other stuff? Because it's like, you know that this is not right. all she tried to do was protect your body and not feel pain, not get rid of this. So what are we doing with
Right.
the?
Well, that's where
He's playing along.
I
love
want the
this.
source material. I need to go back. I've never read it, but like I'm like, oh, I want to know, because if we're going from Wizard of Oz, where he's like Dorothy, and it's like, oh yeah, we'll help you. So we have to kind of suspend not being attached to that dimension. You know what I mean?
This is going to be very frustrating to someone who's read the book recently. I read the book literally over 20 years ago, and
At school.
at school, yeah. I think that he does kind of go along with it because he has to this whole thing about the water.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
they're not all together at the beginning when she's with Glinda. Also,
No.
they're not there with her. So we're
Right.
already doing it differently.
Yeah.
She meets one at a time.
The Scarecrow has to help them along. The Scarecrow has to help them stay. They've got a plan too, and
He's
got a
going
plan.
to see this woman. Like he's going to see. He's like, I gotta get my girl over there. So
Yeah.
I'll go with y'all. But yeah.
If we're what go.
No, say what you're gonna say.
I was going to say, so if we're going by off of, this is our latest installment, right? Kind of like when all the Star Wars has come and you go, okay, so based off of how they've made this is how we start to kind of tie in the family tree, right, of the source material. I go, okay, so he must have known the whole time and is playing dumb because there was always this plan to come back to this castle and be like, hey, I'm good, girl. You know what I mean?
100.
Like, yeah.
Because he says during Thank Goodness, remember, he says, are you hearing what they say about her?
Yeah.
These ridiculous things. And it's for us to say, oh my God, these people really believe these things. If I need to save her, I can use one of these lies, that she's a snake, that she's a this, that she sheds her skin, to help her get out of jail.
If we're gonna add and a this and a that and blah 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 blah, blah and like kind of distill,
Do it for them. Mm-hmm.
I would have loved a scene where like I want Elphaba and Fiyero to talk about how they're hatching the plan. You know what I mean? Like I want her to be like, what if we like just do that. Like for me, I'm having a moment like that would have been fun to be like, and so like really piecemeal it to us. You know what I mean?
My question was, are they sneak tipping? Are they sneak tipping in the time between acts? Because when they're back together in Act 2, I'm like, y'all ain't seen each other in a minute. So what's going on? Like, how are you already like you still love her? Like you haven't seen her. Like, I'm like, are they sneaking on the side? What's going on?
But listen, he is
never forget,
head over heels for that.
It's unrequited love.
Yeah, it's
They're gonna be in that desert for an hour and a half.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't know if I buy that there's still that spark, but there is. She's the it girl. She's the girl on the run. So
she is the girl on the run. No, what was the thing I was just gonna say? Oh,
but you were gonna say something about water.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I think that I love how the Wizards' theme of manipulating public sentiment and having using popularity, the theme of that is used throughout, and that Elphaba actually ends up using one of those same things to escape. That this water gag. But I just wanted to also say, I find Jeff Goldblum so sexy. Like in these interviews and in life, I just find him so appealing. I really enjoyed having Glinda in that scene with them together. I know a lot of people don't, because they think that should be like mother and father. I mean, father and daughter. It should be their like first dance. But something about having Glinda there made the whole scene more profound. I don't know why.
I agree.
yeah, I liked her there.
Yeah, and the harmonies were nice, and it just kind of like it flowed through. He was very good, I think.
He was very good. He's so great, and my favorite are like the songs are nice, very nice, but then it's like these little moments where after they're done, he's like, oh, that was a fun little dance. And like his little, I don't know if you remember him saying that, but I literally started laughing and I was like, that is, just the added layer of like why he's so fabulous. But I wonder if also like we didn't have Glinda. I'm trying to like be like, oh, they didn't have her do it in the show because she had a quick change, and it was like, okay, well, she's got to be off stage. So this is just going to be a father-daughter moment. You know what I mean? Like that. Now I'm really like, I'm creating a new dimension happening over there. But I also just want to say we've jumped around so much and because we love it, but like the girls. the girls. And I will start with, God, I don't even know who to start with. But like, to me, like, I love Cynthia so much. She's incredible, incredible, incredible. And I don't know why. I literally don't know the answer to this. But for some reason, I am especially pulled, surprised, and like she just lifts me. Ari lifts me in both of these films in a way that is like, it's so magical. It's magical. And she's funny, and she really gets into like showing you all facets of this character, and like she came to work, you know what I mean? And it's they both did. But like something about what Ari presents in both of these films, there's such a vulnerability in her, and I say it's like it's in her eyes, and her like she to me is experiencing everything in a way like literally for the first time. I see that in her, and I know she did that take 5-6 times. They rehearsed, but there's this aliveness in her that is so undeniable, you know?
Yeah. I agree with you. I also think I saw more of a shift in just her tone between the two movies. Like this one felt more lived in, and like I don't know, maybe it's just too. I'm putting too much on it. Like maybe I just want her because she is the girl, but it felt. I don't know. This movie definitely felt more like Ari took over a little more of the presence, and I do want Elphaba the whole time to like still be that. But I think it goes back to what you were saying about like we don't really get wickedness. Like there's no release of like, yes, bitch, like yes, go in, like show them.
Like you want a little more like Daenerys Targaryen, like
because then also just to say at the end, I felt like it's over because your man ain't here. Okay. Really? Like,
really?
And I don't feel that way in the show.
Yeah,
It
that's true.
doesn't end that way in the show. But this was like, it's just because he's not here anymore. Now you're done.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, that felt a little too like pedestrian to me. I was like really? We're going? The boyfriend's not here, so that's why it's over. That's dumb. Like that was me. I was like, no. That's me.
But
other people
the argument against that would be like, she's just a girl.
Yeah.
She just wants to be that girl. She is that girl, but she wants to be that girl.
That one.
She wants to be that girl. She just wants to be loved and beautiful and perceived and everything else.
And I think the payoff would still happen either way because it's this. I do like it's in the material. He sees her, and she's performing for the rest of the world what they see. So, you're gonna get that payoff. I think. Sorry, go ahead, Juan. Go ahead.
Talk to me about that line. It's seeing things in a different way. I'm not sure how I feel about it. And it's used with such gravitas and twice. And I just don't know that if we're going to have her float in the air because we don't want to have an ableist message, and yet we're going to have this very superficial, I think, message that it's almost like instead of, I guess my question to you is this message of, it's seeing things in a different way. Is it saying and expanding what the definition of beauty is, or is it saying like you're not beautiful and I don't care?
I don't buy it when he says it.
Ugly butt.
Yeah, I don't buy it when he says it. I buy it when she says it to him. I don't buy it when he says it to her. I don't think he believes it when he says it to her.
I think again the problem is we're putting a hat in a hat. It's already in the material. I love you. It doesn't. Oh, you're green. I don't care. I love you. We see each other on a soul level, which is where beauty lives. And as human beings, as much as I can speak for myself, I am distracted by what is on the outside. Even I know beauty is what is inside. It's your soul, it's your heart. We didn't need you to add the sugar on the cake, on the thing. We know. I think it's just not trusting your audience. And that, to me, is a thread that can unravel quickly. Little choice by little choice.
Yeah.
Back to their vocals a second, I will say. Here's Cynthia Erivo's superpower. She has many superpowers. Cynthia Erivo's superpower is that what she decides is melodically and harmonically correct is correct. When she creates a vocal line, that becomes the vocal line.
Bible.
And there that many people can do that. I was very worried when we lost our and I don't know who is that woman. I've never seen ever before. If she needed my help, I would say no. I declined her GoFundMe. No, I don't know who that lady is. And that's Color Purple. That's Color Purple. That's Alfie. The way she sings it is the way moving forward that it needs to be sung. That's it. She's a definer. She's definitive.
Did you clock the lyric, the word change in No Good? It's one line.
Cannot.
That doesn't. Yeah, why is it, the scansion was off? Why did they do that?
It's since I cannot succeed. It's since I something can't. They do can't. Yes.
Yeah, you can't.
Why?
I don't. Yeah, it caught my ear.
Oh,
It's one line.
Instead of since I cannot succeed, it's since I can't succeed.
Since I can't succeed. Yeah, it's weird. Speaking of the vocals, my favorite part of Cynthia Erivo is even as impressive as she is on a recording, it still pales in comparison to her live. And that to me is remarkable. I'm so impressed by hearing her sound, and yet still there's something
even better
you can't feel or get until you literally are inside of the frequency of the sound she makes.
Yeah.
She is a next level. Her voice is a gift. It makes me believe in a god or an afterlife, or it has power. It's remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like India Arie once said, how I know that God is real. All of this is not by chance. Because it's that. And upon listening again, this happened with Wicked the first time around, that there was mix issues in theater. People complained that there was the vocals, this was wrong. And I wouldn't doubt that would be happening again when there's songs that are so musically complex with so many instrumentation and scenes and different arrangements. I could see how acoustically people have been complaining about the same thing again.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you listen to it with like AirPods in, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
This sounded incredible. I was like,
yeah.
oh.
And one thing that I noticed too is the beginnings of boom, bum, 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 a lot with like March of Witch Hunters. Like beginnings of songs would really get me. And then kind of to what we were saying earlier, there would be this softness around. And I wonder if that's just because the dial on the volume of like our experience in the theater was not fully, whatever, or the soft singing. But I always felt like the orchestrations were really loud, but the voices always seemed a little quiet. I had that same thought when I saw it last year, because I remember I saw it, and then even John Chu posted on his story. He was like, theaters, y'all are putting it at point something this, and it needs to be at this. Anyway, so...
Did you guys also feel that the orchestrations sounded brighter overall?
Like tempo?
No, brighter in like frequency and sound.
Oh, like
everything felt a little like more up. Did you get that?
I could see that. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I can't explain it, but it almost like lacked. It didn't. I don't know how to explain it.
It has a Disney-ish.
Yeah, it's
a little Disney.
It's a little.
It's almost a little too polished. Which, listen, I wish I could even play the piano, so who am I?
There were moments in this too where we're showing vocally that she's an older Glinda and it's not so bouncy, right? And I wished that would have been a little bit more carried through for her for all the songs, because I think it would have been great to say, you know what? Yes, you want love. Yes, there are things that like are an external validating sort of part of being in the world, but your power, I think, would have been a beautiful double entendre, is her voice. And to as Glinda not know, but yet only feel as powerful and as pure when she sings like Ari, could I think have been a very beautiful way to I would have bought that. I think that would have been really powerful, because when she does that and she looks to the side, like whatever, that thing that she does in the stratospheres,
Yes,
I think would have been really nutritious. Like everything about it, I'm like, oh, I think that was a bit of a there's an opportunity there. Because when she sings this live, when she does that and she goes a little bit more chesty, we're not going to be like, it's not going to take us out of what the song
At
is.
all.
I think it's going to only reel us in. You know what I mean?
It is going to, but that's something that'll happen sometimes when
Yeah.
we in the musical theater sometimes in musicals. Sometimes in musicals, musical directors, singers, we are like, you know what? We don't want to get too indulgent here.
Yes, I get. I mean, I get.
We don't want to get too indulgent here. Meanwhile, the indulgent shows are the ones that last. Phantom of the Opera was open for 44 years. It's just like that interesting.
Like
thingamabob.
she should have. This is kind of like when you have this person as the vehicle for the role. You go, okay, well, how do we now? The same way we're saying, Cynthia's new version is Bible now, right? Like you have that with Ari, and I get it. It's in the character's world to stay soft and figure it out in this way. But how amazing would it have been to have given her no good deed?
I was gonna say, I think she was also very conscious of not being
Yes.
around it.
I mean, I
I
know,
think,
and
I think it's just that held back a little bit.
It's important.
Yeah.
and I agree. Yeah. Yes.
And I think, that's the argument I would make against, or why I'm like, I like what she did.
Yep.
Because she was committed to being someone different. And I think it paid off. Because going back to what we were saying about the girls, I think she carried this movie on her back.
Yeah.
And I think it clarifies to me, and not that I ever really doubted it, but why Kristen and Idina both went up for lead actress, because it is a true two-hander.
Yeah.
These are two leads, and a lead, James Randolph from New World School of the Arts always defined a lead as who changes the most, not who has the most stage time. And those girls both have an arc, which I think is why Cynthia's performance in this doesn't come home like we talked about, because the Wicked thing, it's the fulfillment of the arc is not made, but Ari's was for me.
Yeah. I said this last year on the podcast. I realized for myself, not having, I mean, like, growing up with the show in the way that we did, that I was like, oh, to me, and I literally thought, I was like, Glinda is the one who deals with the most change. She comes to school. I mean, I could literally quote myself if I was that good, but it's just she comes there to just be a friend, and then she meets someone, and then this person shows her love, and then she realizes that, like, oh my God, like, that is what true friendship is. Now I've lost. I wanted a boy, but the boy doesn't want me. I'm actually okay now that the boy doesn't want me, because really, I just love this girl who's my best friend, and I'm having to finagle everything in order to keep my best friend. Literally, the reason why Elphaba is going off crossing the Sierras with Fiyero is because of the girl in the bubble. It is, to me, hands down, Glinda's show. It is Glinda's show. It's Glinda's show. Elphaba just has, sorry, Juan, bangers. Elphaba has the bangers.
Yeah, she does.
She's got the bops. But
And
Glinda,
it's called Wicked. It's
Exactly.
not called Good.
correctly.
Okay, I feel compelled to say this now that I've been thinking a lot about it. Because I do feel, I know myself, I can come in very hard with like my critiques and my opinions and my thoughts. But what I do really want to say in this talk, and what I feel in general, is all of the criticism, the critique, and the what if they did this and maybe they should have done that pales in comparison to the joy I think we all feel that something that was so niche and nerdy and theater geek, right, is pop culture, that it is the fact that we're even sitting here talking about it and the world is engaging in this way, even if it was a money grab and we have Starbucks drinks and Glinda bubble popcorn buckets.
Tide Pods.
Yes, Tide Pods, like to the max. The fact that what is so niche as pop culture is so beautiful and heartwarming and joyous, and should nothing we critique get in the way of that.
Yeah, and look what we got. I mean, come on.
So true.
Here.
Like,
the two they picked. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I want these two to be in my ear for the rest of the time.
Yes.
Me too.
And it lives on a whole new life, a whole new generation of kids watching movie musicals. Like I watched Singing in the Rain or whatever we watched that was like, I don't know what that feeling is, but I want to live in that as much as possible while I am breathing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's incredible.
It's been chicken soup for the soul. It's been
Yes.
chicken soup for the soul in this very, very weird American dystopian time.
Yeah.
It has been this to have the ultimate American story revisited with new music and
Yes.
have everyone kind of in on the joke and like not just theater nerds, but also like straight men who
Yeah.
are laughing about Cynthia and Ariva being all over each other in their interviews. Everyone's in on it in a really fun way, and I didn't expect that to be the case.
Yeah.
I really
Agreed.
did.
This is such
very,
a
very
random
nice.
thing, but I was sitting watching a movie yesterday with Julia Roberts, and I just thought, like Julia is gonna go see this. Like she's gonna go see Wicked in the movie theaters, and I'm just like, what is she thinking about watching these two amazing powerhouse girls who are our Broadway gals? Like I don't know, that's just like a thought I had on the couch yesterday,
Yeah.
and I just thought, like, and
She would've been
specifically
an excellent
Julia
Elphaba.
because what?
She would have been an excellent Elphaba.
Yes.
If she could sing it, she would have been an excellent Elphaba.
Yeah.
Julia
yeah.
Roberts.
Yeah. Yeah. She's good. She would have been great.
In the straight play version, like
Closer by Mike Nichols.
she's doing the true book adaptation.
Yeah. The book.
Yes.
She did
Yeah.
the book. Yes. Very
So
nice.
And Meryl as Morrible.
yes.
Meryl Streep as Madame Morrible.
Yeah.
You mean I'm casting Juan? I don't know about you guys, but I will be mounting a production of Wicked
right.
somewhere
Sorry.
in the country.
Sorry, Meryl Streep as the Wizard, because only she could do that.
Yes.
She could do
wow.
that.
It's very
Doing
Meryl.
Angels in America drag.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
slash like Albert Nobbs or Alfred
And
Bell.
I was gonna say Glenn Close is gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
You know
Glenn
what
Close
we'll
would be an
give?
amazing Bach, and you know that. And you know that.
She really would.
Tomorrow, so I produced this show called Theater All the Moving Parts in public media here in the city, and we're having a panel about Stephen Schwartz tomorrow. And we were talking about how one of the things that come up is that really intense review from the New Yorker, that it was saying that
Wicked for Good is
something
so bad,
very
bad,
bad
bad
is happening at Wicked for Good. And I love Wicked because it defies reviews. All of the criticisms that we have said today, this is kind of piggybacking on what Joey said, all the reviews, all the notes, all the criticisms, all the adjustments that we would have made, that's all hocus pocus. It's pixie dust that could have gone in or gone out. It's just preferences because the show on its own defies that.
Yes.
Go back and read the original Wicked review from the New York Times, Ben Brantley's review. Read it. Read the headlines is what I mean. And see how cold, vicious, dismissive they were. And it will show you that it doesn't really matter. Wicked has something else. There's something secret in the sauce.
It's greater than the sum of its parts. And it has what I think now especially gets mistaken for the importance of IP. Like I think a mind would look at that and go, oh, it's because of the IP. But do you know what I'm saying? Like now we're in this culture of adapt the IP. They want the IP. It's like, no, we actually want what you're talking about, Juan, which is that Wizard of Oz, Wicked, it's deeper. I think it plays into, to me, and I know
Humanity.
it plays into this archetypal human something. It's like, listen, I could go off on a whole other podcast about like the parallels of like Jung and like, Jung has that book, Man and His Symbols. And he says, man, that's the beauty, right? He talks about the Wizard of Oz, like that's the beauty of the Wizard of Oz because the lion had courage, the scarecrow had intelligence, the Tin Man had heart, but until they were given a symbol, they did not believe it. And there is something about what it means to be human where until sometimes we're given symbols like a Tony Award. Oh, I knew I was good and I pursued it, but now in this moment I believe it. And we know that symbols inherently, I don't know, I think it plays on something very deep, and maybe I'm going too deep and feel free to cut this entire speech, but it's something deeper. It's something so true that it's universal.
Beautifully said. It's so true. Yeah.
It's very,
I have one question. And maybe,
Yeah, ask away.
maybe I missed this. What in the Wicked world, what makes somebody a witch?
Magic?
Because I will say in this one, in Wicked versus like the Wizard of Oz, they don't call Glinda a witch in Wicked,
Whoa.
even though in the
They
Wizard of Oz she
don't.
is. They're all witches. But
Right, so they
in
call
this
Glinda
one,
the good.
like in this one, is a witch has to be someone bad that has power?
No, I don't think so.
Donnell, I'm
Because
obsessed
Nessa and
with your line
Elphaba.
of questions.
Nessa and
Are you a
Elphaba
good
are called
witch?
witches, but
What a
Glinda's
bad
not.
witch?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. And do you have to have powers? Because they all don't. But
Except for Morrible. So technically Morrible would be witchy.
a witch, yeah.
Or
Just I thought about that watching it. I
If
was
I-
like,
But you are right. It's not
Yeah.
it's not like Harry Potter. I remember that from the book. It's not like Harry Potter where they're like, there's a witch. She's a
Mudbloods.
witch. You're like
Right.
you're just a witch and you're a witch, or you're bad or you're good, you're a witch.
Yeah.
Witch is not a nice thing to be said.
yeah. In this
Like
one.
I think you I have to
But
look back.
That's
at that.
such a great point. Maybe that is where they're departing, because there is the classic, are you a good witch or a bad witch? I know that's Wizard of
What a bad
Oz,
witch.
but
Yeah.
what a great point.
Before we head out, something that I wanted to, we've celebrated them enough, but I know it's like, there's obviously so fun to talk about these women and the ridiculousness of their press tours, and Cynthia and Ariana and their camaraderie and how over the top it can be. But I do think it's very, very beautiful. I've loved hearing Ariana talk about, why should I, why should I try to be embarrassed when I'm just being happy? And what does she say, Ian? Do you remember something about
I know
being-
what you're talking about. Like it's boring to be cringe or something
yeah,
like that. It's
yeah.
like-
Well, I want to be cringe. She's embracing it, which is very beautiful.
yeah.
But one thing that has really been interesting that's come up, and we could do another show about this, has been the rhetoric around the potential about eating disorders and how women are responding to the perceived thinness of Ariana and Cynthia on the screen. And it's been really interesting to see that internet conversation start to boil. It's just fat. We don't have the time to even talk about it, but it's just an interesting thing to see that phenomenons that happen out of pop culture moments like this.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that I'm really tired of is hearing people criticize Ariana for like not sounding or looking the way she did when she was 5 years ago. Like versus like Black Ariana, Black Ari versus now Ari. Like, listen, she was in a
Blackiana.
season. Blackiana was in her season. This is this season. Oh, okay. So you're gonna share that post because okay.
I've never, listen, I can understand it. It's a interesting thing to observe, right?
Yes,
for some
for sure.
people. But do we all forget, like, the way that all of us came to being was as babies through mimicry and copying of, we are natural sponges. And I think as artists, maybe we have more relationship to that, or it's more native, because I don't know about you guys, but I imagine if I'm around anybody, I will start mimicking. When I'm in London and I will start speaking with a British accent. Like, and I think, I don't understand why that's considered a bad thing. I think it's a beautiful thing. Like, we want to, like, osmosis be a part of culture and where we're at. I don't know. I think it's beautiful. I understand it.
For her, I'm like, she's also hyper, like, put into like eras. Like, these artists have like each album is a different thing. So it's like, what changes? Is it your hair? Is it your clothes? What can we do to make it a different standalone thing? And it's like, that just happens. And like, and clearly she went deep into this movie because like the hair is blonde, the voice was high, like she was a different thing. And it's like, that's what she does.
She's
when
in this
doing her
chapter.
project.
She's
She
in
is.
this chapter.
Oscar.
I guess I feel like because of the Blackiana situation is funny. It's funny for sure. But people are posting memes and the videos as if she was performing with malintent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I think
she's just a girl.
I think she was with Victoria Monet a lot because they were writing an album together.
we
and
talk
I
about
think
it, yes.
her whole
Correct.
team was black and like, great, that's what happened.
Yes.
Like, I think it's like
Exactly.
she was talking.
I'm
to
not
people around her,
excusing it.
Yeah. This is.
But it's just
Also,
like,
I
let her
am
sleep.
excusing it. Like
I'm-
it's what it was what she was around. Like
I'm positing that maybe it doesn't have to be something to excuse.
exactly. It just
That's-
was.
yeah.
Maybe it's a very subconscious thing that humans do sometimes. Put me in any other family, in any other culture will I not start to take on those things because that's what I'm around, and will that not come from love? If it comes from and that's the thing about energy too, like we get so hung up on words and what people say, these like very finite things. It's like, what about the energy? And I think as gay men, like I've been called a faggot and known that you love me, and I've been called a faggot and know that you hate me. Is it the word or is it the intent?
Of course.
And we're stripping the humanity from ourselves by engaging in, like give the energy some space to breathe. Give her some grace. Give all of us grace.
Yes.
I want to bring up one thing we didn't touch on, and I will keep it very quick.
Yes.
What's that?
The second film was laden with a lot of references and a lot of repeat references, a lot of clock ticks.
Clock tick.
One too many clock ticks.
Yeah.
One too many, they're going to destroyify you. Just say destroy. I understand. I know the world. But what I do want to say, that to me was a little like, okay, heavy-handed. But what I do want to give a compliment to, I want to end on a high note for myself. One thing is that final image, the nod to the poster, if they had just done that, to me, I was like, now that is beautiful. It is a beautiful way to say, hey, this is for you. That to me, though, maybe you disagree, but that pulled out my heart. The final image of Wicked is them in the field with the Whisper recreating the movie or the original Broadway poster.
Oh.
Because the poster for the first movie wasn't the same. People were mad that it wasn't the same image.
Yes, I remember that, but I didn't realize that there. You're telling me there's a shot of that they recreated.
The final shot of Wicked for Good, I believe, is them in the field as a flashback with Elphaba looking down, smiling.
Yes,
whispering.
yes. When they're all with the kid, Kaka and Fiero's over here, and Marissa.
That to me was the feel good nod that I needed.
That was really a sweet moment. You're right. That was nice.
And it's just because it ultimately gives us the what Wicked is all about. Is you think you know, but bitch, you have no idea.
Exactly.
And when you see Glinda whispering in her ear, what could she be whispering?
Yes.
They know each other?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah. The familiarity
Yes.
in front of Fiero and Ethan.
Yeah, it's the best. Well, everybody, we love you. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. You'll be listening to this on day after Thanksgiving. We hope you had a wonderful holiday, and we love you, Donnell.
We love you so much, Joey and Donnell.
Thank you for having me.
Joey.
What a pleasure, guys.
Mwah.
Qué rico.